Hey, what's up guys? My name is Alec Garza. Thanks for clicking on this video. Today I want to talk to you about Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings. This is the video review for one of Marvel's most epic standalone films, okay? Off the bat, I'm gonna let you know, you don't need to know who Shang-Chi is. You don't need to have any prior knowledge to going into this movie to enjoy it. It is a really great origin movie for the MCU. It's right up there with Iron Man, I would say. Iron Man probably is better because of how much they fleshed out the actual main character. But this movie, in terms of just spectacle and enjoyment and epicness, has it all. It is a banger. It is a doozy, okay? It's the bee's knees for me because I love Chinese mythology, I love fighting, I love kung fu, and I just love Marvel. So all these elements coming together in one movie, oh, it was like a dream come true. My enjoyment level was at a 10, okay? But in terms of rating the movie, I will give it a 9 out of 10 easily. But before I get into why I loved it so much, let me give you a little bit of cons, and then we'll go into the pros and then spoilers. But for cons, I think the main actor could have been a little bit better. I don't think he was miscast. I just don't think he brought it enough in certain scenes. There's scenes where he doesn't bring enough emotional resonance to the audience, or to me at least. I felt like he does in some scenes do very well, but most of the scenes he's more restrained. And I would have liked to be more invested in him, to feel for him, but he doesn't bring it enough. He's great physically, he's great in every other aspect, but just in terms of the acting range, I would like to see a little bit more. Secondly, I think the CGI was a little bit too much in this movie. I'm okay with Marvel CGI, but they really cut a lot of corners, and some of the CGI, especially in the early scenes, just did not look good to me compared to like Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. Like, I don't know where the budget went with that. I don't know, whatever, but I don't like the CGI as much in this film. I don't like CGI at all, but it was definitely noticeable how bad some of the CGI was in some of the earlier scenes. I think it gets a lot better towards the end, but the early scenes, it really took me off guard. And the third con is it gets a little slow in some areas, and the story could be a little bit stronger, but it's definitely a strong enough story for a freaking superhero film by far. There's a lot of great family dynamics, which we'll get into now, the pros. One of the pros is the family dynamics. There's a lot of heart in this movie. I love the villain. They open up with the villain. It's so cool to see, what is his perspective? Why is he doing this? Is he really all that bad? It was awesome the way they did that. It really brings us in. A hero is only as good as his villain, and luckily this movie has a great villain. Another pro is the humor. There's great humor in this movie. It's not always there. It's not like in your face all the time. Awkwafina brings a lot of it, and she does a great job as like the side character who's just running around with Shang-Chi trying to survive. She brings enough humor to make the movie humorous, but I like that it's not always like everything's a quip. They kind of bring it down some places. They have the more emotional moments, which is great. Marvel sometimes just throws in too many quips here and there, and it kind of takes you out of the mood. But this movie did a great job of handling and balancing out the humor, I think. Another thing it has is a great soundtrack. The music is really kick-ass, especially when they're fighting and the fight scenes happen. Some of the music comes in at the perfect timing. Really great editing. I really enjoyed that part of it. I will say the fighting itself is not so much of like that hardcore kung fu where you can hear everything. It's a little bit more elegant. It's a little bit more floaty. It's a little bit more Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon-esque, It's not the Raid. It's not like hardcore, like boom, boom, like Bruce Lee type stuff. It's a little bit more romanticized, but it's still entertaining enough. And the 10 rings, all the powers of the 10 rings look incredible. It's so dope the way they do it. I can't even like tell you how much I loved the ending sequence. Like the final act, it goes batshit crazy. It's like a Dragon Ball Z movie. I loved it so much. That really made this movie stand out. I want my movies, especially superhero movies or like action movies, to be unforgettable. And this movie definitely has a lot of unforgettable moments and set pieces and parts to it. So gotta give it kudos to that. And again, the story just really resonates, and I'm glad that it's an all Chinese, film. I think it really represents the Chinese mythology and the culture of Chinese people into the limelight. And I think it was really well done, and I think it was a very awesome film to check out. I think anybody can watch this movie and enjoy it. It is just one of those movies that's with the times, very modern. Shang-Chi and Awkwafina, the two main characters, are just valet drivers, doing the bare minimum kinda, not really pushing themselves to go into adulthood and to go into their career and passion. And I related to that. I was like, man, that's deep. Like, it is hard to find yourself. It is hard to make your parents proud and make everybody proud around you. Like when you're still trying to figure out what you really want to do. They have all this potential, but they haven't specialized in anything, and they're scared of the future. But life hits, and they have to figure it out, and they deal with it very well. I think that theme was in the movie really well. I just don't think it was executed perfectly sometimes, but it was there and it really spoke to me. I thought it was good. I don't want to say anything more because then I'll get into spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, I think I gave you enough reasons to go watch it. So go check it out. Let me know what you think. Now, if you have seen the movie, stay around because I want to talk to you about how freaking crazy that last act was in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you haven't left, spoilers are here. I'm sorry. But man, they got dragons, they had demons, they had freaking like Final Fantasy type shit going on. I'm like, bro, is this a Marvel film? What is going on? This is one of those Marvel films that is just, it's so out there. It's just so wild. The closest thing to it would probably be Doctor Strange. I just loved every second of it. I loved all the animals. I loved it when they go into that kingdom and they just see all these weird mythological beasts and the dragon and the stakes are just so high. I just can't even put it into words like how epic it was, how high the stakes were. I really, really loved it. And I love that it made sense why other superheroes can't get there or nobody else is helping him, because it's just like its own little Chinese like mythology universe, like little realm. And I thought that was super cool. And they really went all out. They really pulled no punches. They didn't really hold back at all. So let me know what you thought. Did the third act take it up a notch? Because I felt like the movie was awesome in the first act, kind of cruises in the second act, kind of goes like this, up and down. They got some really great fight scenes. And then the third act just boom, all like, it just goes straight up like, holy shit, what's going on? One thing I would say, I hate that they killed Death Dealer. Damn, they killed Death Dealer so bad. He looked so cool. He's just like, I hate characters that just look cool but have nothing to them. And I really was expecting for them to flesh him out a little bit. But yeah, he just dies. They do nothing with him, unfortunately. But he was super, super badass. Razor Fist was funny. A lot of good humor there, actually, as well in the final act. But overall, I think they did a great job. I think that they needed to just flesh out Shang-Chi a little bit more. And a perfect example or a perfect way to do that would have been to show him killing the guy responsible for killing his mom. They missed a golden opportunity to show us how pivotal that was for him, how intense it was, how it really changed him as a person. But they kind of just talk about it. They just say he did it. They don't show it. And the first rule of filmmaking is show, don't tell, you know? So that was something I would take a point off for. And I would take a point off because, you know, it was just a little slow in some parts. And the characterization of Shang-Chi could have been a little stronger. But besides that, I mean, it's an awesome Marvel film. It's one of the best films you're gonna see this year. Like, I definitely recommend going to the theater to see it and just really enjoying it with a big crowd, because we all really enjoyed it, and I definitely can't wait to see it again with somebody. I love showing great movies to other people and just seeing their reactions, and this is one of those movies that I'm excited to do that with. So that's my review for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Have you seen it? Did you like it? What do you think? Where do you rate it in terms of all the other standalone Marvel films? Let me know in the comments below, please. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time. My name's Alec Garza. You have a great one. Cheers.